Revelation chapter 3 and Proverbs chapter 11. Revelation chapter 3 has one of the most important principles of the gentleness and kindness of God in all the Bible, and it's easy to miss if you don't pay close attention. Revelation chapter 3 verse 8 says, he says to the church in Philadelphia, I know that you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. So this Philadelphia church had been through some really tough trials, and they had just hung in there. Now I'll drop down to verse 10. Since you have kept, since, connecting to verse 8, since you have kept my command to endure patiently, I will also keep you from the hour of trial that's going to come upon the whole world to test those who live on the earth. So God says this, he says, you passed this test, so therefore you get to skip the final. Did you hear that? I mean, you know those classes where if you pass a test, you get to skip the final exam, and the final exam is so much harder than that test? Well, that's what Jesus says. God says, look, my desire is not to give you tests and trials. My desire is to promote you. And so when you pass this test, it's so strong in my heart for us to understand God's desire is not for trials. God's desire is for promotion. The trial is just the step that gets us to this. But the Bible says that if we pass tests, God often wants us to skip the next one because we've been faithful to pass this one. That's good news today. Speaking of good news, Proverbs chapter 11, verse 25 says, a generous man will prosper, and he who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. And I just love when people go into a small group and into church and into work and into their family and into their children, into their neighbors, and their first thought is not, let me tell you me, 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 but their thought is, how can I refresh you? How can I build you up? How can I, in generous, notice it's generous, how can I be generous in affirmation, generous in praise, generous in encouragement? And the Bible says the people who are generous in affirmation and refreshing and encouragement and praise, they will always themselves be refreshed that way. So today, I loose rivers today to flow through you of affirmation and praise and encouragement and refreshing to others, that you yourself will be refreshed. Have an awesome day today. God bless you so much.